Hi, lovelies. Welcome to the Hearty podcast. Today, we are going to talk about D.O.S E, your happy hormones. So, what are they? What's the purpose? How can you create them naturally? So, again, welcome to the Hearty podcast. My name is Beth. And for those of you who have been here before, welcome back. So happy to have you. For those of you that are new here, welcome. Again, so happy to have you. This is my little dose of oxytocin. She's just like, nah. So I was trying to think of what to cover this week on the Soul Hearty podcast, and I really just decided on D.O.S.E at the very last minute because of the fact that, as I mentioned, I've been going through a lot over the last like 6-7 months, right? Oh, I completely forgot. What are we supposed to do at the start of this? Close your open internet tabs, and you're gonna take a deep breath in, and you're going to release it. Oops. And you're going to release it. So deep breath in, release it. Let go of all of those anxieties, the to-do list. Hi, do you want to see this? The anxieties, the to-do list. And we are going to clear the noise and clear those tabs and create peace so that we can live the life we love. So back to D.O.S.E. See, got bouncy brain, as my kid would say. So when we think about our lives, right, we have a lot of things that go on in our lives. And as I mentioned before, I'm such a firm believer in treating things from a holistic perspective, right? So I have depression. I don't know if I've mentioned that with my podcast yet or not. And also, let's get this out of the way right now. I had an audio error, so if you're watching me, it's probably not going to sync up, but figured it would be easier just to re-record the audio. So when we think about depression, as I mentioned, since I have depression, and treating it from a holistic perspective, that's one of the many reasons why I really love D.O.S.E, because it's those happy hormones. So your dopamine, your oxytocin, your serotonin, and your endorphins, right? And so the beauty of these is that you can do these, you can create these hormones simply by actions that you do and how you live your life, right? So obviously, you all are familiar with my puppy, Maki. She is my hit of oxytocin. She is my support animal, no doubt. And in fact, even as I'm sitting here, she has to have some kind of way that she is touching me physically, right? So sure, all of you who have pets know that this is a pretty common trait for most dogs, where it's funny because even when it's hot and she doesn't want to lay directly on my lap, she will scoot her butt up against me or things of that nature. So that, and that's a pretty common one that most of us are aware of. You can get a hit of oxytocin, that your body will create that happy hormone simply by hugging, petting a pet, hugging a person, being close to someone that way, right? This is also the bonding hormone, right? Referred to very often as the bonding hormone, right? The other big one that I really love too is that dopamine, right? So the dopamine, the way that I think of that is that it is the reward hormone, right? It is the happy hormone that we get to be rewarded for a job well done. So we got stickers, we got stars. And when we were growing up, right? High fives, things like that. This is that star. For those of us that are Generation X, this is that gold star. Your dopamine is your gold star. It says, way to go, great job. So I love dopamine, especially because of the fact that I have depression, right? Because as I've shared before, similar to your emotions, and your emotions are indicating when you need support from a mental and emotional health perspective, your body is telling you that too, right? And so the beauty of being able to use your intuition, listen to your body, right? I am very much about intuition. I eat intuitively. My diet is 100% I listen to my body. Your body, if you know how to listen to it, you will know if you need protein. You'll know if you need fiber. You'll know if you need potassium. You need sodium, right? And any of you who have tried this can speak to the fact that that's 100% accurate. You know what your body needs because your body will tell you. You just have to learn how to listen, right? And so for me, especially when I am in a bout of depression, I love knowing how to leverage my happy hormones as part of that holistic approach, right? So really thinking about your dopamine as that gold star, right? This is your high five. So I love this, especially because I'm able to find that balance between being intuitive and listening to my mental health, my emotional health, and my body, and allowing myself to rest, right? So I talked last time about the critical nature of rest and how sometimes rest is not only equally as important, but sometimes it's actually more important than the productivity. And so, for instance, when I am really struggling with my depression, part of how I treat it holistically is through these happy hormones, right? And so what I will do is I will do something like maybe I'm going to binge watch a favorite show, right? And instead of feeling like I am just being unproductive, because sometimes that's really hard, especially if you're already in a bout of depression, feeling like you're unproductive can really, really just add to it, right? So what I do is I will allow myself to rest, but then I will identify small things that I can do so that I can get that hit of the dopamine, because the happy hormone, the reason they're called happy hormones is when you get that hit of whatever this hormone is, whether it's the dopamine, the oxytocin, the serotonin, or the endorphins, then you feel better, right? And so again, the beauty of the happy hormones is that you can do this very easily, right? So one of the things that I love to do, like I mentioned, is just binge watching a show, right? A TV show, and not after every episode, but maybe I'll do something like I'll watch for a while and then I'll decide, okay, after this episode, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something small because I know I need that happy hormone, that hit of the dopamine of the reward, right? And so maybe I'll get up and maybe I'll unload the dishwasher. Maybe that's all I can do. Maybe I literally don't even feel like I can reload it, right? And then I'll come back and I'll rest again for a while. And then maybe a few episodes later, I'll get up and I will load it, right? Or it's a great way to do laundry, because the other thing too is once the laundry's done, I can bring it in and I can slowly be folding it while I'm watching my show. And so again, I'm getting the benefit of not continuing to add to that feeling of depression, because for anyone who has experienced it, you know that what happens is it just continues to pile on, right? So it's like when people talk about anxiety and you look at your list of to-dos and then you stress out because you have this big, huge list of to-dos, and then decision fatigue creeps in, and then you don't even know where to start, and then you're overwhelmed because, again, you haven't started. It's just this cycle, right? And so by me doing this of something very small, and it doesn't even have to be, those kind of chores. Maybe you get up and you take your dog outside. Maybe you pause your show and you play with your dog, right? So there's so many different things that you can do, right? It doesn't have to be specifically chore related. For me, those are the things that tend to, again, that whole to-do list, right? And so the whole purpose is silencing those open mental tabs and forgetting about the to-do list and letting go of the anxiety, right? So as I mentioned, oxytocin is probably the easiest one to get and to really like trigger, right? To get that spike for me, at least. Even now, as I am talking, my puppy shifted so she could be closer to me again, and so again, I'm now just even if I'm not petting her, right? Just by having her by me, it's that symbiotic relationship of being able to get the oxytocin directly from being around her, right? So the dopamine, right, is the reward one. The oxytocin is the feel good, love, bonding hormone. Then your serotonin. So serotonin is one of those where this is really, a lot of people associate this with your mood, right? And so ways that you can actually boost your serotonin are definitely different. And actually, I'm going to skip over for a second. Bouncy brain, again, as my kid would say. So for the endorphins, right? How do you create those when you are, for that happy hormone, right? For that hit of that happy hormone. So most people associate the endorphins with exercise, right? And I think one of the things to remember is that goes back to that whole somatic, right? So just essentially being in your body, right? So somatic relates to anything that's in your body, right? So endorphins, it can be something as simple as literally just getting up and walking around, right? It doesn't have to be something strenuous. It can be going outside and getting the fresh air, right? So back to that serotonin. The serotonin can be done by sometimes your diet, right? So different things that you eat can trigger the serotonin. Things such as, so for instance, you think of like a lot of people, when we think of serotonin, we think about relaxation and sleep, right? So like tryptophan will give you that serotonin. Also, things like sunlight, natural light can help to boost your serotonin. So that's one of those things I always make sure that I do, is have that sunlight there. So I will leave you with, remember, there's also my book. I'll post the link here. That is great for art therapy and helping, that can definitely help with your happy hormones there. And then also my podcasters, you're getting 25% off for life. So use the code SoulHeartyPod. And this week we're going to do, let's do my ritualist intensive, that's definitely one where I want to make sure I'm offering it when I have the extra time. So take advantage of that through the link below on my website. And comment below. Comment tabs if you are ready to start living the life that you love. And then also let me know what's something that you're going to do. Which happy hormone are you going to start creating on your own, and how? What are you going to do with that? Bye, lovelies. I'll see you next time.